pause. It's time for the video game podcast where the Konami code is alive and well. The console wars don't exist. Rings are just as valuable as coins. Pots are not safe from swords. Giant robots kick ass. And fireballs are a perfectly acceptable weapon in a fist fight. That's right. It's time for the Super Gamer Bros podcast Ultra Hyper Alpha Super EX Double Impact Plus A Live. Settle in and let's get to gaming.
Hey everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Super Gamer Bros Live. We're a little earlier than normal today because someone decided to go on vacation without us, and he's wanting to have some fun. So.
Hey, I just joined, and you just said, "Hey, let's go ahead and do this." I'm good. Yes, we are. I'm on vacation. We're celebrating me being over this whole thing before I go back to work. So yeah.
So anyways, welcome guys. If this is your first time watching the show, this is Super Gamer Bros. I'm one of your gamers, Slaten. You can find me on Xbox Live, and I'm joined by...
That's right. I'm Cynic. Hello. And excuse me.
We ended up talking a lot about this week in video games. Our questions of the week. So if you want to find out certain things that we've talked about, if you're on YouTube, you can check the comment section. There's little time codes, and make sure you like and subscribe to us and comment away as you watch the show live, because we will get your comments, and we have lots of fun with people who comment with us. So we do have a good time. We're having a little more simpler show this week because there's really only two things we're talking about, and it's the two game showcases this week. But we like to start off each episode letting you get to know what we've been doing, and so you can get to know us a little bit better. So this is what we've been playing this week. I'm going last for a very specific reason. So let's start with Pocky.
So the newest season of Diablo 3 just started, and my wife and I powered through it a little bit. I had a good streamer I know run me through a little bit, get me to level 70, and then like 20 Paragon levels with my Barbarian. So I'm now Paragon level like 220. I just got my first set, so yeah, I'm murdering the hell out of everything, and I'm now on Torment level like 9.
Very cool. So you're, as the Barbarian, I'm sure you're spinning your way through more loot and actually, more epic quests.
So the new set is not spinning set; it's jumpy set. It's you leap and you do 20,000
ground pound
damage.
Ground pounds are always fun because you look epic doing it.
So I can leave.
Not streaming this to Twitch.
Are we not streaming this to Twitch?
I might have accidentally deselected it.
No, you're not on Twitch apparently.
Well, I probably accidentally deselected it. Sorry.
So, but yeah, it's the new set is for the Barbarians. It's jumpy time. So and also Grand Slams. So I jump and then I ground slam and then I do like 890 million damage. Just things die in front of me or behind me.
That's always fun.
Sounds super fun.
Like, I wish Destiny would let you do that sometimes, but it kind of, adjusts everything around you. Because I would really like to just go into some of these things as my 1050 character and just kill. But it's like, no, they may be way weaker than you, but 2 hits, you're dead.
Well, no, I'm still high leveled. I'm still like, these things have like, several million life. It's just my damage.
How ridiculous is it with the game? The bosses have like 70 million life.
No,
that's like some Final Fantasy shit.
Diablo himself has like 200 million life.
Yeah, Diablo doesn't screw around.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't played this one. I'm waiting for Diablo 4. I'm just going to start from scratch because this one's gone too far along without me playing it.
Actually,
I don't know. You could still have fun with Diablo 3. It's fairly priced now with all DLC included and everything. So you probably find it for a decent price nowadays. And it's for every system out there.
It's to make sure I have people to play with. That's what
the Diablo 3 community is still insane. Like you can I'll run you through it. Courtney will run you through it. Her Paragon level is not as high.
I would be on Xbox.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's right. You PC Master Race fool.
Well, no. Xbox community doesn't exist for that game. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but it probably will for 4 because it's new.
Maybe.
All right. So, what about you, Cynic?
Well, I went ahead because ever since Ghosts of Tsushima was first announced, and we had very little content, very little knowledge about it when it first came out. We just knew it was something set in feudal Japan and it was going to be stealth based. That's all we knew. A couple of months maybe before the game came out, they started coming out with real big reveals about what it's going to look like and what the gameplay is going to look like and everything. So I wanted to make sure that I bought the game day one because I was really looking forward to it. I also wanted to talk about it on the show, write up a bit of a review about it. So I have been playing a lot of Ghosts of Tsushima. It is packed, loaded with gameplay. You can play that game forever. I'm on Act 1 still after I don't know how many hours of playing, going through the story, doing side missions, liberating camps, liberating little villages, things like that. When it's time to go a little more in depth about it, I will just dive right into it. It's fantastic game, by the way.
I need to teach you to go live to Facebook on your phone so you could do reviews anytime.
We could do that.
Social media savvy, so it'll be like me going, push this button, hold your phone, and go to town.
Well, I know how. I definitely, it could be easily done. I'm just not very used to doing it. I definitely don't do social media enough. So going on there, doing a bit of review. I have most of one written up. I just want to make sure I get past the end game before I throw it all out there. But so far, great game. It's kind of Assassin's Creed Japan, except it's got a really in-depth, I guess, combat system. But I'll go into all that later. Bottom line is, yeah, it's got a lot of Ubisoft influence. I'll say that much. But overall, great fun, great game. I love it. So we'll go into the details later about that.
I decided to rearrange and remodel my Animal Crossing island and found myself frustrated with Nintendo even more because they're allowed to do one thing a day. So I got an entire island to remodel. It's going to take me probably 2 months at this rate I'm going. But I built a stage and the props for the stage so I can have a mock concert on Wednesday nights for my friends to come over. It's called Jet Jupiter and the Moon Man. I've got a bunch of astronauts behind instruments with the moon and the space capsule and this fun background and all these little star chairs on the beach, just because I think it'd be hilarious. And I decided I'm gonna do more of those. I'm already planning the future. I'm gonna do with the pink flamingos because there's a bunch of pink flamingos I'm put on stage, like saxophones and stuff. It's gonna be pretty hilarious.
Wow!
But
awesome.
If you guys watched our social media this week, and this is the perfect place we talk about it, I got the Destiny Cookbook in.
Yes, you did. I've been waiting to berate you, but you've been doing that for me. So thank you.
I like that we're all
within an hour of getting this book started to return on Amazon. I have not been so disappointed and so disgusted with a cash grab in my life. I understand there's a lot of
when you showed me the cover just by itself, it was just like a few things on a grill and then the Destiny logo, and I was like,
"It was fried chicken. It was just fried chicken. Go look again." So I understand there's a whole market for geek cookbooks, and we know people who do it really well. Chris Rachel's been on our show before, and there's some other geek ones where they actually make it worthwhile, like Mario mushroom shaped pizza bombs or sandworm cakes, or they're actually well done and thought out and inventive. Yeah. This book was basic bitch book. You could have gotten any of these recipes on a food blog by just scrolling. There was so it's divided up by the sections of Earth. Doesn't go outside of Earth. And then the holidays in the game. So the first one's the tower, and it's mostly Korean influenced. It's like ramen and banh mi, the typical things you can already figure out by watching Facebook videos. Then it goes to Germany.
I have a question real fast on the ramen one. Is it literally part of the instruction is buy a 39-cent pack of ramen and open it?
No, it was one ramen recipe for spicy ramen. That was it. For all the fuss they make a ramen in that game, there was only one freaking ramen recipe. So then you go to Germany, and it's literally coleslaw, how to make pretzels. I was like, what?
Jesus.
Then there's a section in the book where it's fried chicken, spinach and strawberry salad. And my face wanted to melt because when they announced the book, they said, yeah, it's going to be, highly themed recipes from the world of Destiny. I'm thinking they could do like Alice's pork roast. They could have done, like, if it wasn't such basic bitch recipes, I would have been okay, because they only did a handful of the Christmas cookies. And yes, they turned a lot of the guns into drinks. There was like 14 drink recipes, but one of them was literally just Earl Grey tea with milk. Like,
was it hot? I mean, come on, Earl Grey hot. Come on.
So my cousins that I play with had all pre-ordered the book as well, and I was like, yeah. See, now there's a Geek Cookbook that isn't basic. It actually is themed and it's worthwhile. It's not something you can just find anywhere. Like, look at this stuff. Not this cookbook. I should have known when they were making fun of the coleslaw recipe because it got leaked early. Coleslaw. It hurt me inside as a human being, and I went to Amazon and wrote the worst review for this book. And there's people that are going to try to counter me on it because the dude who followed me up was like, "Oh, it's a good, solid book with easy to follow recipes." And I was like, "This had nothing to do with fucking Destiny. Do you not play the goddamn game? Like, for real?"
Yeah.
He was a bot. He's a guy.
Yeah,
whose job is to there's a negative review on this product. I need to make a positive review so that way I can counter him.
I will have my cousins go write the same type of negative type reviews. Like,
dude, you never know. It could have been somebody who has no idea how to cook and decided, you know what, I'm going to get myself a cookbook. And the first cookbook he saw happened to show Destiny and then a book. And he thought it was his destiny to be a decent cook. And he found a coleslaw recipe, something he could actually make. And so, I don't know. Maybe he didn't even know it was video game related.
Oh, so I give them some credit for trying to theme it, but they literally just stuck to Earth. They didn't go to any of the alien races. They could have had so much fun with this. And when you look at the people who make the actual geek cookbooks, like the Geek Nom Noms, the ones like that, where they actually make it, they go through the effort to show you how to do it so it looks like something, or they actually do some exotic stuff to make it worthwhile. This is on the level of the Walking Dead official cookbook where it had zombie nachos, where it was just nachos. It was literally just nacho. It was like Carl's nachos. It was literally just nachos you could buy at Taco Bell. But actual geek chefs would have done it. Okay, here's the nachos, and here's how you lay out the edible zombie with the parts like the guacamole in the stomach, and you dye your cheese red and put it in the hearts and the lungs, and you get like, that's what geek cookery should be like. Not, here's some, you lay out your chips and put some ground beef on top with taco seasoning and cheese, and there's your Walking Dead nachos. No, motherfucker, that is basic bitch not like this whole, it was a basic bitch cookbook. Yeah. I am so
here's some tonic water and here's some gin. You've made Gallahorn's gin and tonic. No.
So here's my thought about some of these is due to cooking being seen as Archer would put it from the show Archer, who is a horrible human being, it is a woman's shop or they're gay. And so they had to do is make it so broified that bros would do it.
No, that is completely, everybody cooks. Everybody can cook. Everybody cooks. It is not a gender-based thing. There are people who do not like that. And there's some people who have a hard time cooking. Like my sister-in-law can't cook rice, or she can't cook mashed potatoes. She can't do a lot of things. She can't cook, but that doesn't mean she doesn't try. Everybody can cook. Yeah. This literally was a book of recipes that they found on Facebook. I shit you not. Because they could have done an entire section just for the Christmas cookies, and some of them looked okay. I think 2 of them looked okay. They could have done a whole bunch of stuff with the Cabal. They could have done like a whole spread for Callus's Feast and done like this weird roast animal type thing. And they could have done so the holiday section was the worst because the
Cabal could have just been put anything you want on a spit.
Yeah, I'm all about Halloween, so their Festival of the Lost section. Tortilla chicken soup, street corn, and something else. That was their Halloween recipes.
So something Spanish. They all want Spanish recipes.
Yeah, they wouldn't compare in Spanish. Yeah. They could have done a off the top of my head, like a pumpkin seed candy bark on cupcakes because the fallen are afraid of pumpkins. They could have done so much more, but we got this shitty book and it's not in my house. I could not keep it in this house. It's gone, just like Lion King. It is gone. It does not exist.
Spice blend recipes are worth following. Thank you, Little Loudmouse.
Yes.
So my thing is, I would like to point out to you, sir, there are men who refuse to wipe their butts because it's too close to homosexuality. So you can't tell me that maybe some people won't find something homosexual and won't do it at all.
Cooking is not gay. We're just saying that right now. If you think cooking is gay, there's something fucking wrong with you. Go commit yourself or go jump off of a fucking cliff.
Right. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, especially especially if you go through the trouble of buying a video game themed cookbook. I mean, you're going to be a nerd, or you should be. So, yeah. I mean, these are people who like deep
joy of cooking.
Yeah. These are people who like detail.
Yeah.
They like to be immersed.
We did a Disney party at my house, and everyone's food was more inventive and thought out than this entire cookbook. So, like, Cynic and his wife brought the gray stuff, and it was absolutely delicious. Jasmine made the moat from Sword in the Stone with gummy fish and a bunch of Jell-O. Kids love that. I did the Stitches Hawaiian sliders. Did not know what the fuck I was doing, but it was really good. Everything was themed. Everything was themed, and that's themed cookery. Not let me steal this recipe right here off Facebook and call it fried chicken.
We are sorry we didn't make that one, but we do need to hurry because we've spent nearly 20 minutes. So we've.
We're not timing today's episode because we got a shit ton to talk about. All right, we're
going to call this a special episode then.
All right, so our question of the week this week was a pretty good one, I thought, because why not? We pitted Mario against Luigi. If they were to get in an all-out, just bloodthirsty, last man standing Mortal Kombat style fight, who would actually win, Mario or Luigi? So I'm going to start with Pocky because he seems to think he has the right answer.
It's Luigi. He is literally okay. So if we take every power that Mario has and subtract what Luigi has, because they're all the same, except you have to look at what the items that are unique. So Mario's unique item, let's take one of them as an example, is that water gun for Mario Sunshine. Mm-hmm. Well, Luigi has the counter to that. The apparently endless vacuum that is that Vac 2000 or whatever.
From
also Luigi could jump higher. He could jump longer. He seems to be a more reasonable guy. So if Luigi had to put the guns to the wall, I think he would win. Also, we saw what happens when Luigi turns evil.
Yeah.
The L, and that L nearly killed Mario. Like that was one of the hardest boss fights in that game.
I agree. I'm all for Luigi. Simply one because he's older. Two, he's got more experience. And three, the Luigi stare from fucking Mario Kart. You know he can kill anything. He has no problem with it. I mean, Mario can't even save Princess Peach on a regular basis. She's always gone. Daisy's never gone. Isn't Daisy the one that goes out with Luigi?
Yes.
Yeah, she's never always kidnapped. I think she did once in fucking Donkey Kong, and that was it. Uh-oh. Let's see what Cynic has to say.
Well, you bring up good points. I would say though that if you put the water gun in Luigi's hand, he could probably use it. You put the Ghost Vacuum 3000 in Mario's hand, he could probably use it. I would probably say I'd have to go with Mario. I mean, when you sit here, you talk about experience. Luigi's got maybe a couple of games on his own. Mario has a ton of games on his own. And Luigi is literally just sitting on the sidelines the entire time. So as far as
Luigi is just as good, if not better, than Mario in a shorter amount of time.
Well, I mean, it's fine when you're talking about sales and stuff like that.
Experience-wise, they're perfectly matched, and Luigi's done it in less time than Mario.
Well, I mean, you could say that Luigi's his older brother and therefore might have more experience. But I mean, really, they have. You can say that Luigi has more, but I would say no. And the reason being is because Luigi only has a couple games by himself. The rest, he is paired with Mario, and then Mario has a ton of games by himself. So when it comes to just experience, just the amount of adventures that he goes on, I'd have to give it to Mario just for that reason. I'd also say when you look at like say Super Smash Brothers or something like that, and you look at their move set, I'd say Luigi is pretty much equal to Mario for a lot of it, but Mario is more consistent. Luigi has like the one hit kill uppercut, but it doesn't work all the time. Mario has a consistent set of tools that he can fight with. So if you're just going like deathmatch style, Super Smash Brothers, Mario and Luigi, who's more powerful? I'd say in the hands of a more experienced player, Luigi maybe, but other than that, Mario is going to be your middle of the road, consistently good character, and Luigi is going to kind of be all over the place. He's going to be up and down. So I'd consistently give it to Mario if I'd have to give it to somebody.
My counter for that is Luigi has a death move. Mario doesn't unless he has a power up.
Which one? The uppercut?
Yeah. Mario doesn't.
I mean,
he has to have the mushroom. He has to have the flower. He has no powers on his own except to run around and jump on fucking mushrooms.
Well,
Luigi has a death uppercut.
If we're talking Smash, but he doesn't need all that stuff because they have fireballs without the mushrooms. At least if we're talking Smash and all that. In Smash, they're pretty much equal, except for those few differences. Mario is consistently faster. Luigi can just kind of fall on his face, and he's also scared of everything. Even though he's in a game featuring ghosts and featuring hauntedness, he's still scared out of his wits. And had Mario been there, I'd say if there was a haunted mansion and Luigi wasn't the only choice and it was Mario and Luigi, Mario would go, "Hey, I got this ghost vacuum, let's go." And Luigi would go, "Oh, okay." You know? So, I don't know. I'm just...
Luigi and Mario got captured each time.
Well, I thought we were going to have a clean sweep with just Luigi, but no, Cynic had to go Mario. Wah, wah, wah. He's all...
You wanted a little conflict. You need something.
All right. So let's get to our main events, our stories today. We're going to briefly touch on the Nintendo Mini Direct this week because it was one of our game showcases, but it was very minimal.
Yeah, it was only like, I think... it was only... Hold on a second. I think
it was a handful of trailers, but there was definitely a standout there.
There were several standouts, but the big one, of course... Oh, hello. The big one, of course, was Shin Megami Tensei 5. After 5 years of they first announced this when the system first got announced. They finally go, "Hey, we're going to release this next year." But right before that, we're going to release Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne. That was a PS2 game. HD remaster it. We're going to put it on the Switch also. And that was the how they ended their line. Also attached to all that was they releasing 3 more DLC contents for Cadence of Hyrule, putting a character pack, a song pack, and a new adventure. A new WWE game, which they actually was really kind of cool because they showed off a couple of the new world champions, including the current female champion. And so it's it looks really good because it looks very raw, like the Super Nintendo Raw game, where it's just completely over the top. They show a lot like where they throw a guy out of the ring, there's some water next to it, and a shark grabs onto him and then bashes him around and throws him back onto the ring. It looks very over the top. I mean, it's Nintendo.
I think that's what they were going for.
Yeah, it looks cool. It looks fun. It's 4-player, multiplayer action. No Mario news, which is weird because this is.
I'm okay with no Mario news.
Well, the reason a lot of people were surprised there's no Mario news is because this is the 35th anniversary, and they're like, no,
well, this was an indie showcase. This wasn't a major showcase. This was all
there
indie.
Was nothing indie about WWE.
Well, to them it is. But I remember they labeled it specifically as an indie showcase. It was just a mini direct with indie games. Yeah. But yeah, outside of that, Shin Megami Tensei 5,
and 3,
just I don't even remember. I remember they announced it when they announced the Switch, and that's how long you've been waiting because we talked about it the other day.
I specifically bought a Switch with the knowledge that this would eventually come out.
Isn't that funny? Like, I specifically bought an Xbox 360 on launch because I knew Mass Effect was coming.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason. Like, I already had an Xbox and I wanted a 360 anyways, but I knew Mass Effect was coming. I wanted to be ready, so I made sure I bought a launch day system with a 360.
Yeah, so
Cynic's like, y'all are losers.
No, I totally bought a PS4 just for Metal Gear Solid 4 and God of War 3. So yeah, I'm not or PS3, excuse me. So I'm guilty as anybody for buying something just for an exclusive.
well,
And I basically bought a PS4 for Street Fighter 4 and Spider-Man. So yeah, I'm not throwing any stones here.
I will say that I measure buying a system by the games have to price-wise have to equal, if not greater than the system I'm buying. So
Well,
if it's a $300 system, it will. Back in the day, that was a good measurement, sir. It's not so much value.
Yeah, so that's going to take us into our next one, which is going to be the bulk of our topics today. The Xbox presentation this morning. Who here watched it? Cynic. He's like, I was on vacation. Screw you guys.
I slept in as long as the baby would allow, and then we went swimming. So.
Okay, so let's just start at the beginning. Pocky said something when you weren't here that I completely floored me. What was your statement about the Xbox conference, Pocky?
Wow, it actually made me want to play their games.
Cool.
So there's a whole feeling about this that I couldn't quite put into expression until I found an article that talked about it. So we're going to talk about it at the end. So let's start at the beginning with Halo Infinite.
Yes.
It's very Halo. It's got a grappling hook, but I think they missed a prime opportunity here to pull a Resident Evil 2 and do a 2 storyline game with Master Chief and the Survivor. I was honestly expecting when they were getting off the ship for someone to go one way as a Survivor and someone to go one way as Master Chief and have 2 different storylines going, because obviously the Survivor's not going to fight things, but he's going to be more of the action, stealthy, get things done. And I think they massively missed out on that opportunity.
I disagree with you, because if you watch the after they do the gameplay trailer, you see clips of just the Survivor. I think there is, but if you're talking about, hey, we got to show off Halo Infinite for the first time to masses, is anyone really going to care about the Survivor? Yes, some of them are, but what people really want to see is Master Chief with a shotgun and a grappling hook, jumping around like Spider-Man, murdering everybody with underneath his boots and a shotgun.
It ran really smooth. It looks exactly like Halo, but I hope you're right. I hope that there's 2 different storylines, because I would be more interested in the Survivor storyline while Cynic runs around as Master Chief. Like, I will go around and jack stuff up and make it easier. Like, I think
I'm the Ghost of Tsushima guy, man. I'm good with I'm good with some stealth gameplay.
I will blow everything
some of
up
my
with Master Chief, and probably you included. You know better than that.
some of my favorite stuff in the first Halo game. Yeah, I actually say the first one and then 3 and Reach. They all had great little stealth sections. Same with 4. And everyone basically except 2. There were some and 2 had the areas, but not so they weren't so prevalent. But you'd find sleeping grunts everywhere with elites just kind of patrolling the areas, and you could take out everybody if you were careful enough and stealthy enough. So don't count Chief out. If he wants to be stealthy and there's an opportunity, he can be. But if there's a mechanic where you can be the Survivor and you could run around very vulnerable to the rest of the Covenant, whereas Chief is just going to be a tank that just goes around and kills everything in its path, I'm cool with that. I'm very cool with that.
Well, you have to watch the video. It's what everybody wanted. So I'm glad that they did it.
Also,
I'm excited. I've been excited for Halo Infinite ever since they announced it, because I'm a huge Halo fan. I'm a big mark for it. So just bring me some Halo. I'm good with that.
So 2 things about my last 2 thoughts on the thing is, one, I think this is going to be the last one with the Master Chief, because if you look at, well, because if you look at the guy that his nemesis, the old, he's old now. Like, obviously he is, like he says, this will be my last fight. I'm wondering if this is also Master Chief's last fight. My other thing is I didn't know the effed upness level of the Halo lore. I was watching this on game trailers, and beforehand they did this whole history of Halo. I didn't realize that humanity was the clone of humanity after the first humanity was set extinct because we rebelled against our alien overlords.
It's a bit convoluted. And then you have of course, the Spartans being taken as children and stuff like that. The Halo universe is not a kind universe. It's
No.
not. It's not. It's not a universe to live in.
No.
So, they also talked about. I'm just gonna go down this list. They ended with Fable. I was expecting that one as
First
well.
and last. Then we'll go from the middles.
Yeah, I'm just going down the list that I have written down. So yeah, they showed off Fable. It's a pretty funny trailer. No gameplay, no announcement. But we know it's coming. Like everyone, they actually have confirmation. But
Yeah.
I think it's going to be strictly for Series X because it's much further down the line. I loved Fables. Flawed as those games were, and as much as people wanted to complain, they were still really fun.
Yeah, especially the first one.
The problem with the Fable games was, and this is something I looked up, it's by Playground Studios right now, and it's not 22 Cans. 22 Cans is Peter Molyneux's studio. This is not made by Peter Molyneux. And the biggest problem with Peter Molyneux is Peter Molyneux does not know when to shut the fuck up.
True.
Peter Molyneux on 2 and 3 each time said that these games will be played for the next 15 years, and people will still be finding new content. The answer to that question was actually honestly 6 months, and nobody cared. So I think this will do better because you don't have a guy who doesn't know how to shut up behind the game studio, and they'll just promote the game as is.
He did do a good job, especially with Fable 1, of making a very unique feeling game and something that you could live in, and something that was very unique feeling. But you're right. He overpromised and underdelivered, and the only reason you can say it underdelivered is because he promised so much. I mean, otherwise, Fable was a great game. It was a solid game. At the time of release, definitely overhyped, but the craziness of the overhype, there's no way anything could have lived up to it. I personally, I remember Fable coming out without being really entrenched inside the hype. So when I first picked up Fable and started playing it, I was like, this is fantastic. What is this? It's awesome. And I heard a little later on about Peter Molyneux's craziness, and then paid attention to the 2 and 3 hype build up, and I really couldn't believe it. Yeah, Peter is an interesting fella. I don't know why he overpromises.
There were some massive overpromises, but the games themselves were pretty solid for what they were.
Oh no, they were solid. Yeah,
I am excited about this one. I want to ask Pocky what he thought about Avowed, the new Obsidian RPG that they teased, because I was looking at it thinking, I honestly to God was expecting a Balrog at the end. I was literally expecting a Lord of the Rings RPG game. I don't know what they were teasing at, but that game looks beautiful.
It is. It is the third game in the Pillars of Eternity series.
There we go. I knew you'd know more about it.
So Pillars of Eternity is not old, but old style. Like it came out in like the last couple of years, but it's all like as you enter the caves, you think it's like an old D&D style adventure gaming game. This time they dropped all that and they're just making it a first person perspective. I think this is Obsidian doing this to Bethesda because
I definitely got that feeling.
Because Obsidian went and said, "Hey, you like Halo? I mean, not Halo. You like Fallout, but you want a better version of Fallout? We'll give you Otherworlds." Because right before that, they announced Otherworlds.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. Don't talk about it yet.
Well, no, but I'm saying this just seemed like layers upon layers of giving Bethesda the finger, but the whole they're doing a fantasy game. They're like, "Hey, we're doing this in this same style that we've been doing for a while. Won't this be fun?" And everyone's going,
Yes, I think it'll be fun because I remember these other games. I didn't know this was part of it though. But at the end when he did that weird little hand spell thing, I was like, "Ooh, how are we gonna do that with a controller?" Like I was like, "What?" Yeah. So and then I swear to God, I thought it was gonna be about wrong. I wanted to come burst. I was like, "Yes, the Lord of the Rings RPG." No.
If it was the Lord of the Rings RPG, I would definitely want Obsidian doing it. Not one.
Yeah, so it's a interesting trailer, but I did get very heavy Elder Scroll vibes. Which brings us to the other one they did, which was Outer Worlds. I've started Outer Worlds. I actually like it a lot. It's like a weird max up of Borderlands and Fallout. It's like a perfect type of game. And they announced the DLC, the I guess it's a new DLC for it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Like I want to go finish the first game and just have lots of fun with it, and just be like, yes, because I'm spoiled by Destiny controls and headshots, and I could not get headshots in this game to save my life because they weren't dying. So I got really mad at it. That's why I stopped playing it.
It's an RPG. You actually have to level your character.
Yeah, I didn't know that when I started. And I got mad and jumped off a cliff and died and never did pick it up again.
Dude, if you ever have fun, do the fastest ending in the game.
I'm not worried about speed, but
No. You need to do the fastest ending in the game. Look it up. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone, but there is an ending that you can beat the game in 30 seconds.
uh-oh. Yeah, okay. I'll look that one up. But I love the way it looked, and I loved everything about it. I love the humor, because it's the humor that I love from that weird kind of 50 sci-fi humor from Fallout, with that really fun styling of Borderlands. I'm excited.
Yes.
Sounds very cool.
The first of 2 DLCs they're promising.
So that'll be really interesting. They also showed off State of Decay 3. And when it started, I was like, it's going to be another zombie game. Please don't be a zombie game. I was hoping for something different, like rabid aliens or something. But when they showed the zombie deer and State of Decay 3, I was like, okay, of course I should have expected it would be State of Decay. Not that that's a bad game. It's just another zombie.
Not at all.
It will not
I'd really love it if y'all two jumped on State of Decay 2 with me sometime. It's so fantastic.
I should jump on. Like, I've got all these games sitting there, and the thing is, I do 3 live shows a week. Sometimes at night, I just don't.
We know what you do. I'm just trying to endorse State of Decay 2 and say that's great. And so just by announcing 3, I'm all for 3. I'm gonna go look that up right now, pretty much after we get off here.
I want a different type of apocalypse game where maybe it's alien hunters. Like I want a more sci-fi version of it as opposed to the survival horror aspect of it. Yeah, I'll be playing State of Decay 3 because the other thing that announced is everything is going to be on Games Pass. So there's no reason not to play it. What did you think of State? Were you surprised by State of Decay 3, Pocky?
A little bit, because the way the trailer starts, I thought it was going to be a werewolf game.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning, I'm like, this is a survival horror werewolf game. This is going to be awesome. And then the zombie.
I got alien vibes. So I was like, oh wait, it's going to end up being zombie.
And the thing is, that trailer is not going to be a representation of actual gameplay.
No,
it's not going to be as pretty as it shows. That's going to be the other thing I'm not really happy about. It is that wasn't gameplay, that wasn't anything, and it's people are going to get the actual state of the game. If you look
at the Halo Infinite gameplay, it's not very far off. So that's not what I'm worried about at all.
I am a little bit, because it's also
and Undead Labs makes a solid game too, and they support it. It's still getting updates to this day, despite State of Decay 2 being, I don't know, at least 2 years old, at least maybe 2, maybe 3. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
it's at least 2 years old.
When studios still support it, so I am excited about this one. I'm not worried about the way it looks because we've seen gameplay footage from some of the games they've already showed off, and there's really no difference. You watch
State of Decay 2, as it is not a bad looking game at all either. It could definitely use some improvements. And the funny thing is no matter what kind of content they improve, they also improve the graphics on a pretty consistent basis.
So that leads me to my next one, which I didn't see coming. I love the Warhammer 40K universe. I do. I love it. And there's it looks like a squad-based survival horror game. We play Inquisitors. And it's a very short trailer. I knew it was Warhammer as soon as they talked about,
they're not Inquisitors.
What are they?
Because the Inquisitors
they're pretty the Inquisitor. Yeah.
They're not as heavily armored. I would have to ask my Warhammer friends what they are, but they are part of the Empire of Man, obviously, and they're probably dealing with, I don't want to say the Necrons.
It's not. They look like zombies.
Yeah, but they're not the Necrons, because it can't be the Necrons, because if they're Necrons, your dudes are dead.
I was hoping to God it was Tyranids. I want a game with Tyranids in it so bad. But no, it's like it's a 4-player. It made me think of Rogue Squadron when you had the 4 clone troopers playing together. That's what this made me think of. And then my friends were like, "You mean Warhammer Vermintide?"
Are you talking about Republic Commando?
Yeah, Republic Commando.
Yes,
That was
a
great
fantastic game.
This was like
It
a
wa-
40K
it was.
version of that, and I'm super excited
That's
because
very cool.
I need to go download Vermintide, but I think Vermintide is Warhammer Fantasy, right?
Yes.
It's partially it is. Yeah, it's basically Warhammer Fantasy. But it's amazing. So I'd say go download it.
I prefer 40K. I love 40K. I love all that stuff.
So it is Warhammer 40K Darktide Vermintide. It is in the Vermintide.
Yeah, well, they didn't talk about Vermintide in the trailer. They just said Darktide. So that makes sense.
If you go to the official Steam page and a couple of the actual websites,
probably has it listed there.
It has it labeled as Vermintide.
But it's going to be on Games Pass, yo. We can all play it. I'm so excited.
That's very cool. That's how I played Vermintide 1 and 2, man. For Vermintide 2, it basically was Left 4 Dead with a Warhammer skin. It literally played exactly like it. You had little ammo piles that you grabbed from. You have health packs that you can heal people with. Other items you could revive people with. The only difference is it had the skin on it, but it also had an RPG element to it as well. So Vermintide was very cool, and I'd love to go more in depth with more. If you can give me more Vermintide content, I'm all for it.
Well, you theme at 40K, I'm all about it. Like, I think Warhammer Fantasy is okay, but I just love my sci-fi stuff. I love that, and I have a Tyranid army in the freaking garage somewhere. The only army I've actually built.
I'm right there with you. So if it's a another Left 4 Dead clone, but it's got a 40K skin instead of just Warhammer Fantasy, I'm good with that.
So I did love Left 4 Dead. That was a lot of fun.
So it is. So it's going to be the Agents of Chaos, by the way.
Ooh.
So it's the scum of chaos. It's basically the humans who didn't survive.
Yeah. It's
conversion.
You want to talk about a fucked up lore? There's Warhammer 40K.
Warhammer has some crazy bad lore.
Like one of my favorite memes is Harry Potter fans. I want to be a wizard, and what was the other one? Harry Potter like superhero. I want to be a superhero. That's 40K fans. Yeah, I'm good. Good.
Yeah,
we're good.
Normal human. I'm fine.
And we've met some people who did amazing 40K cosplay.
A friend of mine did some awesome cosplay. Aaron and Nina, who I'll share pictures later with get their permission, of course, before I do. But yeah, they did some awesome ones. I think this will be really interesting because it's Vermintide. You are not the Inquisition. You are not a Space Marine. You're the lowest level grunts on the Human Empire, which I'm trying to remember what those were called. So, yeah.
I have friends who can tell you that off the bat because they have all the armies. It's been a while. I mean, I'm probably 2 source books behind now, and I'm okay with it.
I have a gaming group that we do role playing, and they also do Warhammer. And the day the Warhammer announcement, like the day they showed off the new set, like my phone did not stop binging for 25 minutes.
So my question for you is this next one, Pocky. What is Phantasy Star Online New Genesis? Is it a complete reboot? Is it a redone version of Phantasy Star Online 2? Like, what is this game? Because it makes the one we have now like 3 generations behind.
I don't know. And
I don't know either. That was my biggest.
Here's the reason I don't know. Nobody knew this was coming. New Genesis is apparently a return to one of the old homeworlds that they did in the first game, because this is part 2. It's a remastering. It's a regraphicsing. It's getting simultaneous release in Japan and America, so which means for once we'll all be caught up in the same tier. I have a feeling this is them trying to optimize, because right now the problem with PSO2 in the United States is it's horribly unoptimized to the point of I've stopped playing it for a short time, mostly because I've been streaming Persona 4 Gold until I beat it. But I'm also hoping that gives it enough time for them to actually fix the problems that have been existing. Because Cynic was talking to me about some of those problems. I'm like, yeah, that's actually a problem we are aware of.
Yeah.
That's why
I played it and it was lagging so bad, and I was like, well, is it my system, or I feel like this is just the game? Because It was pretty awful.
Well,
It was just lagging real bad.
we should have seen it coming with the way the beta just crashed. Because the beta was a nightmare. I could not even get into it the first day, so I missed out on all that stuff. I got into it the second day, could not get half the things to work. It took me forever to just make a character. Like, we should have known from the beta that things were going to be pretty rough, but at least they're making the attempt to fix it, I think.
Yeah,
they are.
New Genesis.
Because the thing is, like, in Asia, like, the three big MMOs in Asia is Final Fantasy 14, WoW, and Phantasy Star Online. And because Phantasy Star Online in Japan is run by Sega, it goes through their systems. Their game is awesomely optimized. And to the point of people have made a mod / hack to allow you to bypass the Microsoft server and go straight into the Japanese server. Because you're skipping that one process, and apparently it makes the game run optimal. I'm not promoting that or endorsing it. I'm just letting you know that thing
He's
exists.
just letting you know we have no affiliation with this.
letting us know it exists.
Exactly. I'm not telling you to or not to do it. It is your decision in life.
As Pocky winks, you want to go do this.
See, my eyes are still open.
All right, so
I have not done it because there's a lot of issues with it too. You have to reinstall the game sometimes, and it's known to actually put you in other servers for no good reason. So it's a couple issues.
Well, I want to talk next about the other Sega surprise. Was
Sega.
It Barker Wonderworld, made by the guy who made Knights and Sonic? What a bizarre ass looking game.
You mean not Knights?
Yeah, I got straight up Knights vibes from this, and I can only play a little bit of Knights before it makes me nauseous, because that's just a bizarre ass game. But this game looks completely weird. Yeah, that's all I can really think about it, because I was like, oh, the dude who made Sonic and Knights making a new game, and it looks like another version of Knights. Like, this is a very Japanese looking game.
It's being made by Squeenix.
And
Knights was fantastic too. If you want to bring me a Knights clone,
well, go watch this trailer. You'll be like, I got it. Don't really know what it's about, because it looks like a weird hybrid of Kingdom Hearts and Knights.
So
okay,
it's not even.
I'm good with both of those.
Kidding. The guy who gives the kids powers is wearing a top hat and his whole body is the suit, like a pinstripe suit, not a pinstripe suit, but a long-tailed suit. It's instead of a jester, it's a gentleman. It's a gentleman in a top hat.
His eyes are looking through it's bizarre. I'm gonna probably try it, but it looks like Knights. It looks like the guy who created Sonic. It looks like Kingdom Hearts, and I didn't even know that was coming. Did not expect it. Pleasantly surprised, but still kind of like.
I think with this one, it also does say something when the creator of Knights has to go to one of Sega's competitors and goes, hey, I want to make a Knights game, but they won't let me. Can I do it here? And they're like, sure.
Yeah, that one was definitely weird. Not as weird as the Tetris announcement. It's like Tetris Online. If people were
so have you not heard of this game?
I have Tetris 99 on the Switch, so I get Tetris Online. This is like Tetris with friends, where you can merge into one map. And I was like, of all the things to really show for a next gen cycle, you want to show Tetris?
Yeah,
that will bring on some old school people. I'll tell you that much. I mean, that'd make my dad buy the system.
I mean, I'm also going to say this: it's a battle royale with special powers Tetris game.
So the only difference between Tetris 99 and this is special powers, because I don't think Tetris 99 has special powers, and I've gotten up to rank 4 in Tetris 99. That's not something to show off as a next gen game. That's like, okay, well, here's Tetris. We'll show it off, down the road. But that should not have been part of the showcase. I'm sorry.
I disagree, and here's the reason I disagree: is because they showed off a lot of hardcore games, but sporadically through it. And I'm sure this is something you're going to be talking about. They showed games that were not as hardcore, things we haven't got into yet. And I'm just going to wait until you do. But as an example, Tetris. Was it Tetris Connect Continues or something like that?
It was like Tetris Connected on it was something weird.
But they were making sure that they showed games that the person who may not really want the Halos and the big epic RPGs would want to play.
The person who doesn't want to play those is not watching an Xbox game stream live.
But
I hate to be the bearer of bad news. This is for people who are interested in the next system. They're interested in actual games. Yes, Tetris is a real game, but if that's all you want to play, you're not watching an Xbox game showcase.
Oh,
particularly
come
when
on!
that was
Everybody
40
loves everybody loves their puzzle games. You know,
They do.
hey, I like Puzzle Fighter, so you know, I might have been interested in a Tetris game. You know,
It's always
why not?
with you. It's always
Especially if it's a battle royale. It's all about battle royales now. You got Tetris. If it's Tetris, but with explosions, like Tetris
I don't
Blast
know.
was
You'd
awesome.
be a Tetris like Fortnite where you run around as a Tetramonomos and with guns. I'll play that battle royale Tetris any day.
That's-
I mean,
that's,
more than likely, Fortnite will probably have a Tetris skin when they fucking run out of other things to throw on there.
You're running around and you can like click in with another Tetris one, and you all just become like
Dude,
this epic monster, and that's how the battle royale plays out.
There's like an Aquaman Black Manta skin in Fortnite right now. I mean, Tetris is right around the corner. Okay.
Oh,
But the
that would
other
be
thing
awesome.
is yes, this got shut off here, but really where the Tetris where this trailer will be seen most by the people who would really be interested in it, like the people I said, it's going to be on Facebook. It's going to be a Facebook ad.
Yeah, show it afterwards. I would have showed it as part of it. However, they did show more of Grounded, which is I am really excited for because it comes out next week. I already have it pre-downloaded. I hope Cynic does.
Honey, I Shrunk the Multiplayer.
Yes, I'm all about this game. We are going to be playing Grounded next. Because I'm not planning on doing a bunch of shows next week. It is Tuesday night after Brad's Red Web. We are going to be playing Grounded.
I wait. It's on open access. That week.
It's on Games Pass. You can pre-download it so we can just jump in and play. I want to see how this. I want to see what the point of the game is, and I'm going to feed you to a spider.
Well, yeah, that's the.
You're gonna try.
No, I'm not going to feed anybody anything. But if it comes to it, I'm running away from the spider because I read that there's a non-spider mode for people who have arachnophobia like I do. But fuck it, I'm putting on spiders.
Yeah.
I think I'm overly excited for this game, like I was overly excited for Maneater, which I love. I like when I get really excited about games, and this one really had because it just looks fun.
Yeah, it does. I remember you showing me the trailer. Well, whenever a bunch of trailers dropped and you showed me Grounded, it definitely looked very interesting. It looked very Bugs Life. It kind of had that feel to it. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Bugs Life kind of thing.
Yeah,
looks very cool.
So I'll definitely be streaming that next week with. You'll be home, right? Because you can like talk now. You're over. You can
I can have a decent conversation now. Yeah, right up until maybe 2 days ago, I couldn't get through a conversation. So I think I'm pretty much good now.
So I've only got a handful more of these to go through, but like I said, we will definitely be doing Grounded next week. Pocky, tell me about Dragon Quest 11 because I didn't know they announced that one.
They didn't.
They did.
Dragon Quest 11 got announced a little while back, didn't it?
It was like afterwards they showed it off again.
Okay, I think you probably was part of your feed. Hold on, let me check because I was watching.
It was something that they showed afterwards because people were like,
"Dude, Dragon Quest 11 is already out. It's what I'm currently playing."
Oh well, maybe I have it wrong then. Dragon Quest 11 is finally coming to Xbox One, launching in December. That's what it is.
Okay, so yeah, it's just this.
Okay,
it's just this right here coming to Xbox.
Yeah. So,
and if it's the definitive edition, it's totally worth getting.
It's probably gonna be the definitive edition. All right. So my one most curious one before I get into my big news. Everwild, the new Rare game. Looks like you just play a spiritual shaman in a Destiny type world where you don't fight people, but you like run around and learn magic and heal things. It looks beautiful to begin with, but I have no idea what this game is about because it's all about spirituality and they like heal an animal and the giant antelope spirit appears and they're dancing around trees. Like, I don't think this is going to be a combat game. I think this is going to be an MMO where you just kind of go and do stuff.
I don't think it's going to be an MMO. I think it's just going to be a more quiet, cooperative game where I don't think it's going to be MMO style. I think it's going to be more of an exploration because if you watch the thing after the trailer, because who made it, it's like they're talking about how you're an Eternal. You go around this natural world that has not had the increase like who used to have a civilization but doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
So
So
I think this will be more interesting. There was a lot of really interesting games other than this one.
yeah, there was
Also
that
attached to it.
that almost like a point and click choose your adventure one that looked interesting. And that was the thing that I saw in this one was it wasn't all the same type of game. It
No.
was games for everybody. And that's why I think they really nailed like this game and that other one. The medium
Until
looked amazing.
what was it? Hold on. I'm trying to there's one called hold on, I'm pulling up the list right now.
Is it the one with the brother and sister trying to remember the memories?
Yeah, until fall or something like that.
Yeah, there was like Until the Fall.
Until
And
the
then
fall.
there was kind of a more hardcore one called the Medium, which is like a controllable Silent Hill, as far as I can tell. You can switch back and forth, and both worlds are operating in real time.
Yeah, you are in two worlds. One is like full of demons and darkness, and the other
Yeah.
one's being affected by it. It looks like it's taking place in Russia, which is really odd.
Yeah, and they showed off some other ones like X Cross and things that were very anticipated. But what I did not anticipate at all was the big Destiny reveal. Now, this I thought was ginormous because they're bringing everything Destiny to Games Pass, including the new year of stuff, and to xCloud, so you can play it anywhere. So I will be at my fucking job with my phone and my Razer phone controller playing Destiny now. I could not believe that they pulled this off. I was completely shocked. They showed the new trailer with the new powers and how you can make your own platforms, and like the whole community, the whole Destiny community just lost their shit. They literally lost their shit because now it doesn't matter because Destiny was already free to play. But if you got Games Pass, you're like everybody else now.
That's cool.
So
I'm good with that.
Completely, just yes, 100 times yes.
That's been my only problem with playing Destiny all this time, really. So
my
I'm
family plays it
glad to
religiously.
finally be caught up. Thank you.
We're always playing it. We're doing so much fun things, and you make fun of me because I'm such a Destiny whore, but there's a reason this game is still out there, and it's fun to see Bungie going back to Microsoft a little bit and be like, "Look, we're going to do this with you. Let's have some fun." And I am just shocked because they also announced, on the Destiny thing that next year they're going to do cross-platform play.
Yes.
So then everybody can play together, and that's
The other
that's
thing
very
they
cool.
announced was if you bought this game already, a lot of their games that are going to be on both systems. If you own it on one, you'll own it on both.
Yeah, they did a lot of fun things, and so there was a lot of the littler games that you guys can watch online. And if there's anything I missed, the Pocky was talking about. Now's your time before I kind of do my wrapping story.
So A Dusk Falls. As Dusk Falls is the one where I was talking about. Yeah, it's a brother and sister. I think that was one thing. It's going to be very different. Stalker 2 got announced, which is, in my opinion, really, really awesome.
Yes, that did look really cool.
Crossfire X, I have no idea what it's about. It's sci-fi.
It's this popular game over in Europe. It's a super popular game, apparently overseas.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm trying to find out. There was one other one. Psychonauts 2, they showed off a song.
Yeah, they showed Psychonauts 2. They're remaking Ori and the Blind Forest for the new system.
Ori and the Blind Forest is awesome.
Which one?
The first one and Will of the Wisp are fantastic.
Yeah, they're gonna, tell me why. The game that takes place with a family who all meet up at a hotel, and then like one of the kids is with his parents. One girl's with their parents. What?
Is that the point and click story one?
I don't know what it is. All they show is kind of a motion comic version of it.
It's like a Telltale game. It's a motion comic that's interactive.
But yeah, the fact that that's going to be it's about a hostage situation, and then like a girl who deals with the post-traumatic of all of it as a woman, and it's like apparently the events are supposed to unfold, and she meets the boy that was with the family that was doing the hostage taking.
So when this was all said and done, I had I was satisfied. I wasn't as satisfied at the end of the PlayStation 1. I wasn't as satisfied as the first Xbox One. And I really couldn't figure out what this feeling was until I shared that article with you guys that's talking about how the console wars, they're decided they're done. They're over with. I'm tired of the console wars. But the reason I was satisfied was because I grew up with the beginning of video games. I'm pretty sure Cynic may have as well. I'm Pocky, you have, like, you remember the Atari days. We grew up
just about, yeah. I had my dad's Atari, so that's going back there.
Yeah, we go way back with this stuff, and we've been through the whole gauntlet of systems and exclusives and games. We've seen them come and rise and go, and where we're at today. I like where we're at, but I'm tired of these petty rivalries and arguing. It's because, I don't know if you read the article, there's two different mindsets now. PlayStation, their kind of sole concern is getting everybody on PlayStation 5. And Xbox's sole concern is getting people playing games. You will be able to play whatever games that they have on the Games Pass on your old system or your new system. They just want people to play games. They want to make a better gamer community. And that's why I think I was so relieved at the end of this one, because it's not all franchise shoot 'em up action games, because like I love the crap out of After Party. It was just a simple run around, help people in hell, and try to get out of hell game. There was no boss battles. There was no fighting. It was like Telltale games. And they, as much as I complain about Tetris, they had Tetris. They had the one with the hostages. They had Medium. They had, games for everybody. And they want to make sure you can play them. So they're all going to Games Pass. And I will try games that I would not normally have bought or even thought about, because they're so expensive. So it's one camp is we just want next gen, we want games. The other one's like, we just want people to play games. And I think as a community, we should just want people to play games. Get back to when it was fun. Get back to when it wasn't a job and a profession and I guess it's okay being an esport, but get back to when it was meant to, they're games. They're meant to be played with people, and they're meant to be fun. They're not meant to be.
But will that make the shareholders happy?
Well, the Xbox is fine. You see, they have 10 million Game Pass subscribers, and they did the math that they would make more money as with Game Pass subscribers than selling games individually. Because like Sony would have to sell like 60 million copies of a game to break even or something like that, and Microsoft could do it in 2 months. And these games don't cost nearly as much. And when they said like xCloud's coming to Games Pass, you can play it on your phone. If you're out and about, you just play, because they know that they can't tackle the Nintendo Game Boy market, but everyone has a smartphone. You can attach. Like, I'm going to get that Razer controller that attaches to the side, so it's like it's like a Switch, and I'll be able to. I have xCloud on my phone. It's smooth and it's fun, and I can just relax and not be tied to a TV. So I think Cynic went moving inside.
So I have to say this: you do realize what you're talking about.
I know what I'm talking about.
Hold on. You're talking about what Stadia can't do.
Exactly. Stadia promised big, did not deliver. And that's its own fault. We have talked about that on here. Stadia was one of my biggest FUBARs. I backed it, and then I stopped backing it. I'm glad I left it. Yeah, I understand that. It was what Stadia couldn't do, but Xbox is actually going to do. They're not concerned about the little things. They're concerned about playing games.
Well, because also Stadia refused to go to the indie markets until like toward this point now, and it's because their opinion is you should come to them wanting to be on their system, not the other way around. Nintendo and Microsoft and Sony have all had the opinion of, hey, we want you on our system because we want A, the exclusive, or we want B, we want the rights to have you on our games because you're a system seller. Or you're going to move to the park.
They're not worried about system sellers anymore. They're worried about playing games. And I don't think this would have happened had they not fucked up that E3 where they announced the Xbox One. I don't think we would be... I think I would be done with video games right now had things continued the way that they were. Because I already get tired of some of the things. We're all grown adults. Everyone grows up, and you have to plan your time better. So I'm glad that hopefully everyone will get to the point where games are meant to go back to being fun. Yes, you have to make money on them, but there's other ways to do it. Games Pass is breaking that mold. I think xCloud is going to break the mold where Stadia kind of started cracking it. I'm excited. I think we're in a better time for gaming than we ever have been. ever, actually. And I don't think we're going to need any systems outside of this next gen group of systems because there's nowhere else to really go.
Well, I think you always have.
Well, there's always going to be upgrades, but I think mostly you're right.
Oh, I don't
Wait. Did he say I was right? He doesn't say that very often.
We only heard half your sentences.
Well, I mean, right at this point, there's no point to argue. I do think absolutely we are in a better time for gaming than we have ever been. I know you can't see me right now. I left my light, so my phone's about to die here.
Oh, sorry.
I agree. I definitely agree that we're in right now a better time for games than ever. If you can't find a good game, you're just not looking hard enough. If you can't find a good community, you're not looking hard enough. There's plenty of content. It's just, how do you play them all? How do you look that up? How do you get a hold of one?
Of it is, now we have, just like when I had Movie Pass, I was seeing movies that I wouldn't normally paid for. Now we can start to experience these new wonders that indies make and that we would not normally play because of Games Pass. Like there's Carrion got released this week, and I'm going to go download it. I probably would not normally have downloaded it because it would have been like $30. But it's a little fun 2D game where you play an alien
that infects other people, and it's made by Devolver.
So I am excited for the future of where we're going, and they need to just announce the pre-order already so I can get mine locked in. Yeah.
So I think I think we're also at a good place with somewhat games, but
I definitely agree.
So if we can get rid of some of all this stuff and the only cosmetic BS and the microtransactions and the bad loot boxes and the obvious gambling inside of
We're not arguing about that again. We're stopping that this right now. We talk about this and argue about this way too often. So we're wrapping our show at this point in time.
We only lost by 10 minutes.
Next week will be our last Super Gamer Bros for a few weeks because I got to get some things revised on our end. So we're going to do kind of a little fun thing next week. I haven't quite figured out what it is, but we'll do some videos on Facebook and things as we go. But I got to reformat some things on the back end so we can come back with a bigger, better show in the middle of August. And just because sometimes I need some time off, y'all.
Yeah,
I have to run 3 live shows in the middle of the week, which ties up every evening I have.
What's your third?
It's Brad Web, fan service, and then this.
No,
I don't have to worry too much about Shadowcast because it's pre-recorded. They just send me the files. I got to try to get the streaming schedule going, and I only have so much time in a day, so sometimes I have to take some time off. So we're taking some time off on Thursday nights. So next week will be our last show for a couple weeks. Not that we're going away, but we will be back. But just so you know, we're going to take a little break, and when we come back, we will also be on TV again. So that's the other thing I have to gear up for.
So no more swearing?
Yeah, I got to watch my salty sailor mouth here.
But we're not going to worry about swearing and talking about inappropriate things on fan service, are we?
Oh, fan service is fine. It's later in the night. This one's more prime time. So, yeah, This one of Brad's will be fine. So that's it. Guys, have fun. Enjoy the rest of your vacation, Cynic.
Cool.
I don't know when you're back, but now that you can talk, let's I want to play Grounded so bad. So yes,
you're fine. I return home Saturday, so I'll probably see you back online and all that then, because I'm returning to work Sunday. And yeah,
to the office, or is it remote?
It's remote, luckily, but
Well, Phil's been making music. I hope you've been in contact with him. He's been making a lot of music for you guys. So
yeah, he's been sending me some a few things and some of his ideas. So I'm really looking forward to getting back to that too.
Well, next time you come over here, there'll be a whole studio set up with padded walls and chairs, and you guys will feel crazy. So yeah, that's it. We went off on too much personal subject there in the bed. So we'll see you guys next week, and don't forget Saturday is Shadowcast Austin at 9. Don't miss it. Get caught up on all of our shows online. You can go to YouTube, have fun with it, and we'll have some fun next week.
With butthole demons.
Cool.